Hi. So we had book 22, Slaughter in the Hall. Okay, so I'm group 1, so I'll start out. Okay, so basically the chapter starts out and Odysseus has his bow and his quiver and he is about to start killing all the suitors. So he starts out and he says, "Apollo, give me glory," and then he starts to train an arrow on Antinous. And Antinous doesn't really suspect a thing. It says he is just lifting a gorgeous golden loving cup in his hand, just tilting the two-handled goblet back to his lips, about to drain the wine. So he doesn't suspect anything will happen to him. So then Odysseus aims and shoots Antinous square in the throat, and he kind of like struggles with it, and like it says like blood comes out, and then he dies. And then the suitors get really mad because they don't know Odysseus is still Odysseus. They think he is a beggar. So they say like, "Oh, your game is over, you'll never escape your own headlong death. Strangers shooting at men will cost you your life." So they're kind of like cursing him, and they don't realize that this is Odysseus. But then Odysseus reveals himself, and he says, "You dogs, you never imagined I'd return from Troy." So this kind of scares the suitors. So then they know they're about to die because they've been staying in his house for a really long time, and they can kind of sense he's mad. So, but then Eurymachus starts talking, and he says that if Odysseus is who he says he is, then he is right. He has a right to kill them, but he should let the suitors live because they will pay him back by taxing the land, and they'll give that money to Odysseus. So they're saying like, "Spare our life." And then Odysseus is like, "Yeah, no way. He says, "No, Eurymachus, not if you paid me all your father's wealth, all you possess now. Not even then would I stay my hand from slaughter till all you suitors had paid for all your crimes." So that's kind of where my passage ends. So during here, I kind of found some elements of the epic hero cycle. I saw that Odysseus was charged with the quest because both like Athena and like the prophet Tiresias said that he would return home and he would have to kill all the suitors. So this is kind of him like starting with that quest, and he's also tested because there are like a lot of suitors and there's only one of him that he has to kill. He also has the talisman, which is his bow and arrow, so he can kill all the suitors. And I kind of found the presence of mythical creatures because in the beginning of the chapter, he says, "Apollo, give me glory," because Apollo is the god of archery. And then there was a question, does this make him a hero? And I thought all of this makes him a hero because he has to be very brave to go in and shoot everyone because there's only one of him, and you have to be very hero-like to go and like kill like 35 guys. And then so some themes I found during the chapter were hubris, because I thought Antinous like not like just like relaxing back in his chair. I thought that was a little hubris of him because he's having like excessive pride in himself because like he doesn't think anything will happen to him even though he's in Odysseus' house. So yeah, that's not good. And then I also found crime and punishment because the suitors really stayed in Odysseus' house for too long, so now they're being punished by dying. And then I found fate and prophecy because this when Odysseus went to the underworld, the seer Tiresias said that he would go home alone and that he would have to kill all the suitors from his house. And then I kind of found the guest-host relationship because the suitors were bad guests, so Odysseus killed them all. Lexi?
Okay, so my section like started off with Telemachus getting more supplies from like the storage room, but then he forgot to like lock it. So Melithaeus then like goes to the storage room and gets like new like weapons and shields to arm like the suitors. And on his second trip back, he's caught by Eumaeus and Philotas. And then the palace hall, like the entire hall, besides like the women's quarters, is like totally in war. And Athena comes disguised as Mentor, and she tests Odysseus' strength, both mentally and physically. And Odysseus and his men kills most of the suitors, but the passage ends with the survivors praying to Zeus and planning an attack on them. And I found a lot of the epic hero cycles in this passage. So I found that he still has like his talisman, his wits, and that I feel like also a talisman that he had like the gods on his side. I found element 2. So he is called like to get rid of the suitors, which is his quest. And element 3, I think they are worthy of the quest because he has all the components to make him a hero, and he includes the god's favor. And this also ties into element 4 because in this book we see Athena, so we see the presence of mythical characters. And through element 7, though element 7 isn't in this book, book 22 is the climax of the Odyssey. And him calling the suitors is the high part of his life. And element 8 is a really big part of book 22. And we see like Odyssey like changed as a character throughout this story. What do you think?
I guess so, but like I don't know, I guess like how do you think he changed?
I feel like even like he's tested by Athena when she says, "Where's it gone, Odysseus? Your power, your flashing heart." I think that was a way to kind of like test his mental strength and see like if he was actually gonna do what it takes like to get rid of like the suitors and like prevail.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, because he's gone through so much. I mean, he's been gone for like 20 years and he lost all of his crew and he's the only one that survived, so. And he's like at the end of his journey right now and there are like all these like suitors in his house trying to woo his wife.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I just think it's funny because the way he was fighting, Athena tells him that the suitors are not like Trojans, and even though it's like only Odysseus and 2 other people versus all the suitors, Odysseus was still fighting like as if it was like the Trojan War, which was very like just very hard working, you know what I mean? And I think like it makes him a hero because it shows his strength and his wit.
Yeah.
And I think it also shows his hubris because like I feel like who would go in there against 35 people saying it's like I'm gonna kill you all.
Yeah. So and like these passages relate because like mine kind of starts out with him like starting to kill everyone, and then yours kind of like ends with him actually like fighting everyone, getting weapons and everything.
Yeah.
And it kind of fits with the whole story because like this is what he was told that he had to do. Like this was his whole entire journey home. This was the ending of his journey. And okay, so I also thought it was a little excessive that he had to kill
totally
everyone.
agree.
And also, when the suitors were trying to bargain for their lives, they said they would tax the land and give the money from the people and give it to Odysseus. So it's not like even they're paying him. It's like they're letting everyone else pay them. So yeah, that was our chapters. Thanks for listening. Bye.